This is going to be now the NHL Western Conference analysis, breakdown, reaction, however you want to call it. We're back. We're right back. We're back again. The Edmonton Oilers have defeated the Dallas Stars in 5 games, 4-1 series victory. In what was probably the most anticlimactic conference finals we've seen in NHL in recent years. Two teams that just completely dominated each other, dominated their competitions in Florida and Edmonton. And if you didn't see the Florida video, go check that one out. But the Edmonton Oilers here, I mean, it kind of shocked me how well they did play against Dallas and how Dallas really didn't have an answer to anything they put out there in any game, except for game one, obviously. But I mean, it was just it wasn't even it was a gentleman's sweep. Dallas won game one, and then New Orleans won 4 in a row. I mean, look, I completely underestimated the. I mean, look, I said in my analysis video when we first started that I do think this Edmonton defense is improved, and I do think it is a lot better than it was last year. And of course, Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl are going to be great, and their secondary scoring is really good. I thought these games were going to be a lot closer than they were. Edmonton consistently put up 4 or 5 goals every game, and Dallas just struggled to get any kind of offensive momentum going. And I think, Jake Ottinger really did struggle a lot as well. In a way that I can't really understand. I mean, to me, and I'm not, I said it when we did the analysis video. I think Jake Onger was the best goaltender in this entire playoffs, and he just did not look it at all at any point during this playoffs. So that to me was the most surprising. He ended up getting pulled in Game 5 after giving up 2 really bad goals off Casey Smith, which I don't know if I would have did that move. I get what Peter DeBoer was doing, but I feel like that was a panic move when you're already down in the series, and he is one of the better goalies in the league. But I mean, like he went cold, and he did not step up to the plate, and he gave a lot of pretty bad goals in the series. Jake Andre did, and give credit to Stuart Skinner. I mean, he completely impressed. He completely went out and did his thing. And was he elite? Was he insane? Did he steal a game? Yeah, he did. But was he the difference maker for Edmonton? I don't think so. But I think if you can just be a consistently good goaltender with the offensive output that Edmonton can provide, you don't need to be on your head every game. And Stuart Skinner did what he needed to do. He made the saves he was supposed to make. He gave in a couple couple goals that maybe you should have gotten to, but were kind of tough shots, so you kind of can't fault him for that. But I think you can't expect him to make every save, nor should he, because of how good this offense is. I mean, the consistency that Edmonton can put out 4 lines every game, and any one of those lines can score a goal. They can all hit. They can all check. I think you're seeing a very complete team that you really didn't see last year. You saw a really good offense, and you saw an okay defense, but now I think you've seen how they've improved, right? You're starting to see them come together defensively. They've made a really, really good switch in how they defend and when they bring 5 guys back and how they back check. It really was impressive in the series. I don't think Dallas were ever really prepared for it. I think Dallas, just were not ready for it. And look, I think Edmonton played better. I mean, they it's not that their talent was better. They just game planned better, and you got to give credit to Chris Knobloch for how he got his guys prepared for these 5 games. I mean, Peter DeBoer just could not make any adjustments at all, and it's nothing to like Peter DeBoer's. Peter DeBoer still was a great coach. I still believe he's a great coach, but he just did not have the correct game plan for this Edmonton Oilers team, and you saw that. They were never in any game, and it wasn't like the Florida series where it came down to the finer margins. Edmonton were just dominating every game except for the game one, and there was never really a response from Dallas. It was just constant pressure upon pressure, and the way they skate super fast up and down the ice, Dallas just could not handle it. And I'm a little bit surprised by this Dallas Stars team. I think Jason Robinson was good, but everybody else, nobody really stepped up. Ranson didn't really do anything in the series. You had Jake Ottinger struggling. Jamie Benn didn't really do anything. Their defense was okay, but still not good enough. Thomas Harley didn't really show up at all. And so yeah, I think it was just a really just poor performance all around from the Dallas Star team. That I'm not gonna say they were tired. I'm not gonna say like they were beaten. I mean, they had a tough series against the Avalanche when they first started out, but I felt like that wasn't a big factor here. Um, and I think when you compare it to Edmonton, I mean, and then they played the Jets as well, which like was also, but like that wasn't a real physical ish series. Look at the Oilers. The Oilers had to play, the Golden Knights, who are a really good team, and probably could have also came out of the West here. I think what you saw was, and what we all kind of like weren't expecting, was the goaltending and Stuart Skinner playing on his head a couple games and doing a really good job and allowing that offense to produce, and also special teams. Dallas did not have a good power play coming in. Their struggles on the power play continued. Edmonton are a force on the power play, and Edmonton's penalty kill was really good. It was really solid. You know, they did a really good job matching up against the players from the Stars. It was a really, I wouldn't say masterclass, but they did a good job with it, and it was a much improved way to go about it. So Edmonton are going to their second straight Stanley Cup final. It's a Stanley Cup final rematch. I'll make a video about my thoughts on that. But Edmonton, give them credit. They had a very, very bad stretch throughout the season where they lost like 10 or 15 games in a row. Like it was a bad stretch. Um, so they fought their way back. They had a lot of tough series. They've earned their spot in Stanley Cup finals for sure. Connor McDavid gets another crack to win his first Stanley Cup. Get the best player, finally get his cup kind of situation. So that will be important for him. Leon Draisaitl will get his opportunity, and I think it's just the work that Chris Knobloch has done and improving this team from last year. And I feel like it is a different Edmonton Oilers team. It's a better Edmonton Oilers team than it was last year, especially defensively. So you've seen improvement there. And if Stuart Skinner can continue to play like he played in this series, it's going to be a very tough and fun Stanley Cup final for sure. I think from the Dallas Stars perspective, I mean, it's tough because it is a really good team, and I do genuinely like it. I like the mix of the old players and the vets. I mean, like I don't even know what they need. They have star players. They have Mikko Rantanen. They have Jamie Benn, Jason Robinson. I just think like you need more. Like Jake Onger just need to be consistent, and Jake Onger just fell flat on his face. And I don't think Jake Onger is a bad goaltender. I don't. I did think it was. I think it was a bad series. Did Peter DeBoer get out coached? Yeah. Is that a reason for him to be fired? No, just because based on the work that he's done there. I think you could probably add to this offense more. Maybe bring in another scorer for the second or third line. And yeah, I think maybe a deadline move next year could take this team over the top, but they had no answer for this Edmonton Oilers team, none. And I think it was a collective group struggle to get over the hump. Um, I think part of it too was like Edmonton also really wanted it. I'd say that Dallas didn't want it; they all want it, but it's hard to kind of meet your level of compete when the team that you're facing has been to a Stanley Cup final and wants to win it again. So I think that is a level of compete that they weren't prepared for. And look, I don't think the Stars should blow it up. I don't. I think their window is still very much open. I just think they just need to play better. I think they just cannot have this fall off that they had during the series. Just it can't happen again. So overall, it's bittersweet as a Star fan, but you do have a good team. You have a great team even. They'll be back in the playoffs next year. They'll take another run at it again. I think an off-season move or two to improve that, forward group could really help them. But I'm not hitting the panic button on them yet. I think Jake Allinger will bounce back. I think he will be a better goaltender. I think Jake Allinger is one of the best goaltenders in the league, and he will get better at it. Um, well, so we'll see. But congratulations to the Edmonton Oilers again, making the Stanley Cup final. Much deserved. It's going to be a great final between them and Florida again. It was for what it was. It was an interesting Western Conference final. Again, the two conference finals were kind of one-sided both ways, so not too much being played in terms of like competitiveness, but the hockey being played was really fun to see, and just the fast pace of it, and the competitive and the compete and the physicality was really cool to see. So I think in all aspects, you had a really fun series to watch. But yeah, that's gonna do it for me. Thank you guys for listening and watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, all that. Follow back, whatever you got to do. Let us know what else you want to talk about. You'll see me again for the Stanley Cup preview, so that should be fun. Look forward to that, and check out all our other stuff on the page as well. Appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you guys next time.